Hello. Welcome back to Leonie Dawson. Feels to be categorized. Fuck no, she does not. She will not only speak about one topic, she'll talk about whatever the fuck she likes all the damn time. So today, I thought I would just have a personal share. Like, we're sitting around with cups of chai tea and cake, of course cake, because 100% cake. Why? Like, cake is the reason for everything. And I just sort of have a share about where I'm at, what I'm thinking about, what I'm reading, all those kinds of things. So it'll be rambly and long-winded, and who gives a fuck? I'm going to enjoy it. So if you like this, let me know, and I'll make sure that I add it in so I do this more regularly. Hey, so how am I? Where am I at? I guess the first thing to talk about is the global pandemic we are in. So for us here in Australia, numbers have been really good. Like, comparatively speaking, we've only had just over 100 deaths, which is still really sad, but definitely nowhere near where other countries have been at. Schools are now back in Australia. However, we talked to our doctor and decided to just keep our kids at home until term 3, just so we could review numbers and make sure that we're not getting like a big second wave or anything like that. So currently, term 3 starts in about 3 weeks time, and we'll see how things go. It's looking pretty likely that my kids will go back to school then, and we will not hesitate whatsoever to pull them out again. I really am grateful and have enjoyed the time that we've been able to have at home with them. I think it's just extra memories, and also my kids are little, like they're only 6 and 10, and I think it's a really beautiful thing for them to get more home time and more family time and more sister time with each other. And honestly, their bond has gotten even better and deeper over the last few months. They've always been really good mates. And then I noticed when my eldest was 9 and started going to school, she started kind of pulling away a little bit, because her sister's 4 years younger than her, and but having this time where it's just been the two of them, it's been really beautiful for their relationship, and they just spend so much of their day just playing and creating and laughing together, and I feel really lucky for that. I think my kids do have a really lovely relationship. One, because they do have a fairly big age gap. There's 4 years between them. And secondly, my eldest kid is really maternal, and from a really young age always likes babies and littler children. In fact, her school best friend is 2 years younger than her. And it's just kind of a pattern with my kid. She just loves kind of mothering her friends. I don't know what it is, but it's really funny to witness, and it's really sweet. So she's just kind of like that maternal personality, very sweet personality. And I'm very grateful for that, because it means that they very rarely argue or, get into, like, that they've never gotten kind of, fisticuffs with each other whatsoever. And I am very appreciative of that. Anyway, so it has been pretty good. There has been really stressful moments and really difficult, times where I'm like, holy shit, getting through this pandemic. But we're ridiculously privileged and lucky in that we don't have to worry about money, and that both myself and my husband are home, so that we can kind of tap out when we need to. Having said that, I've definitely noticed my mental health is starting to decline just a little bit, in that I'm now, over the last couple of weeks, I've started becoming a little bit grumpy and a little bit bitchy, and that, to me, is just a symbol I really am kind of at the point where I need some more alone time, just to try and get my shit back together. And I really need to be able to have a conversation with my husband without being interrupted. So I do feel kind of ready now for the kids to be going back to school, and they're starting to feel ready for it now too. So, come 3 weeks' time, they'll likely be back in school again. What else? Oh, yes. Okay, so you guys will laugh completely about this. So, about 3 weeks ago, I was in a grumpy mood because I've just started getting grumpy because I need alone time. And so I decided to go for a walk, and I tried to get the kids to go on a bushwalk with me. And my eldest daughter was like, Mum, you're actually in a really bad mood, and I don't really want to be around you when you're like this. And what I really feel like you're needing right now is just some alone time, just to be with yourself. And this is the hilarious thing about when your kids get a little bit older and you've taught them to be, to have boundaries and to be emotionally aware. And so she totally boundaried me. And I appreciated that. And she was really blunt. Like, I think you need some alone time. So I went for a walk, and while I was walking, I was like, wow, this is kind of like I'm walking my very own personal Camino. And for those of you who may not know what the Camino is, it's a very, very famous 770 kilometer pilgrimage, and it goes through Spain. And it's been walked for centuries and centuries, and it has its grounding in the Christian tradition, the Catholic tradition, I think. I'm sure. No, it'd be Catholic tradition, right? I don't know. I'm fucking terrible with knowing much about Christianity. I was raised an atheist or agnostic anyway. But people, it's not just a kind of Christian Catholic-ish, maybe, if that's what it is, tradition, and a lot of kind of, people do it for spiritual or just for personal development, really. And it usually takes about 30 or 40 days, and I've always thought about walking it, but I don't want to have to, one, be away from my family, or sleep in other people's beds, because I really am sensitive to smells and stuff like that. And anyway, so as I was walking along, I thought, oh my God, this is just like walking the Camino, except I don't have to leave my house really to do it. I can just, walk from my house. It's amazing. And it was like the internet heard me. I didn't say this out loud. And I got this Facebook ad a couple of days later where you can walk the Camino virtually. Fucking virtually. Oh my God. 2020, what will they think of next? This is amazing. So basically, you use your Apple Watch or your iPhone, you download the app, and then you can count the number of steps that you're walking and the distance that you travel, and it goes towards walking the Camino. And every step of the way, it shows you where you are on the map, how far you are, what other pilgrims are walking around you. And you can even see, you can see on Google Street Maps, it shows you where you are on Google Street Maps, so you can see the fucking view. How goddamn hilarious is this? And best of all, I've realized I am abso-fucking-lutely motivated by shiny shit. So when I had that little side adventure into doing a network marketing business, I was so fucking motivated by by getting the little medals and shit. And then I used the software Kajabi for building my business, and they have a Kajabi Heroes program where you can you at certain levels you win prizes for building your business up. And honestly, I've never been so motivated. I've just won the AirPod, those fucking little headphone things for your iPhone. I just won those. They were the US $500,000 prize or something, and I'm so fucking excited about that. I've been wanting to get AirPods for the longest time, but I thought, no, I'm going to hold out and I'm going to fucking win them. So moral of the story is I'm very motivated by trinkets and trophies and shit. It's just external validation actually works really well for me, I've discovered. Anyway, so when I saw this Camino, once you've walked the Camino, you get a fucking medal in the mail. Hey-ho! Like, you can just sense my little achievement boner going right off here. And I think it was, I can't even remember how much it was. I think it was about $100 to sign up for the challenge, and you get a shirt with it as well. And I'm just, honestly, I'm fucking so excited. But here's how we go. Because I'm a very excitable personality, the day that I downloaded the app, I went out bushwalking for 2 days and also rode our indoor bike, because you can use different like exercise equipment. And I did over 20 kilometers in 2 days, which for a person who has been in quarantine just fluffing about is a lot in a really short space of time. And then the next day I discovered I couldn't walk. Because here's the thing, I have a condition called hypermobility. It just means that I'm really flexible, and that's like fine in lots of ways. However, it means that my bones dislocate really easily and they fall out of place really easily. And usually it doesn't affect me too badly. However, when I do dumb shit like this, spoiler alert, it does. So I've been kind of unable to walk and in quite a bit of pain for the last 2 weeks. And it took me and I was doing stretching. I did Pilates. I used therapy balls. I was using heat packs. I was using Zen Rub. I was using all the things to try and feel better. Oh my God! There's a big herd of kangaroos just there. That's so cool. Okay, I'm excited. Anyway, what was I saying before I got distracted by the cute, adorable kangaroos? Okay, so anyway, I'm hypermobile. I tried to get it back in place and nothing was working. And so like after a week, I was like, this is not going to recover by itself. I need to call the professionals in. So I booked in with my osteopath. She's really popular and because she's amazing. And so it took me a week to get in to see her, and I've just gone to see her and I've been so fucking looking forward to it. And she's like, all right, Leonie, what have you been up to now? And so I had to tell her the story of how I've been walking the fucking Camino virtually. We were in peals of laughter, and she's like, oh my God, this is like, I'm supporting a pro athlete. And when you finally get your medal, like, bring it in, and like I can take a photo for my social media to say that I helped someone walk the fucking Camino virtually. Oh my God, hilarious. And then she was like, okay, let me have a check out your back. And then she's like, oh Jesus Christ, Leonie, this is bad. This is so bad. And I've managed to displace my whole pelvic bowl. And then my body has been kind of all the way up to my shoulders and down to my knees has been spasming to try and hold my pelvic bowl in place because of this whole hypermobility. So I had a feeling like it was kind of like one of my hips was displaced, but no, it's the whole fucking thing. So I tried to fucking walk the Camino in one weekend. Oh, God, makes me laugh. Honestly, I just make myself laugh. I think, Leonie, was that a really wise decision to make? No, it wasn't. I'd probably do it again. To go and try and just like go from nothing to 100 in 3.5 seconds and then displace myself because I'm hypermobile. Anyway, I am feeling pretty good after that osteopath session. She's fit me in for another emergency one in 2 days, and I can't really walk for the next couple of days. Well, I can't really do any exercise for the next couple of days just while she tries to get the pelvic bowl to restabilize. Blah! So if you're looking for something fun to do, guys, I highly recommend the experience of walking the Camino. Just try and maybe take it a little bit easier, but maybe not if you're not hypermobile. Like, go hard. Why not? So that is the fun shenanigans that I've been up to. I'm finally able to start reading books again. Thank fuck. Usually I read a lot of books, if you guys know. Like last year I read, I think it was 400 books. And I thought that this quarantine would be amazing for reading more books. And spoiler alert, it's actually just been really hard. Like my brain just couldn't function in those ways to be able to read books. And all I've managed to do is reread some of my favorite, like, fluffy contemporary romance literature, like novels. That's all I've really basically managed to do. But it's been the last couple of weeks. My brain's kind of finally switched back online so I can start reading again, which is huge relief. I've talked to other friends and they've kind of had the same experience in not being able to read. I'd love to know how you know, what have you been up to? Like, have you been able to read during this quarantine? I think my brain was it was so much information to take in, and it took a long time to kind of assimilate all the information and adjust to a new way of life, really. But I feel grateful that I've been able to read again. So I'm going through my bookshelves of books that have been in there for a few years and really just need to be read. So I just read a Harry Beckwith book about marketing, which was pretty good. I found it useful and interesting. I can't remember what it's called. It's probably something about being invisible, but I think he's got a few books about being invisible. I don't fucking know. So there's that. And I've been reading for the last, I think it's been about 3 years or more, anti-racist work, and I just think it's so important for us to understand the principles of intersectionality and how to actually truly be anti-racist. Even if you don't feel like you're racist, we are living in a racist society, and we need to kind of undig it out of ourselves, really. So if you are interested, go to leoniedawson.com/racism for some of the best books that I've read on this, and I keep adding to that all the time. I also just did Rachel Cargill's Unpacking White Feminism lecture as well, and that was excellent. I really recommend that. And it also looks like the historical perspective of how we got here with white feminism and what we need to do in order to become truly intersectional. So that shit's just super fucking important. What else? What else has been happening in Leonie land? I'm trying out all different kinds of new things with funnels. I've never gotten into funnels and lead magnets per se. I've always done giving away free shit to get people to sign up to my email list, but I haven't gone more detailed than that. I mean, it's amazing. I've sold over $10 million, which is just incredible, just by doing some pretty basic marketing 101 really with my emails. But I think it's kind of time to get a little bit more thoughtful about it, and also think about the ways that I can really share my message and my work to help more people, because I feel like I've got this huge fucking library of work because I've been blogging for 16 years or so, and I've got written 2,000 articles, I've taught over 150 courses, and it's right, okay, how am I going to share those trainings and teachings with people? And yeah, it's kind of like a review of all the stuff I've taught in some ways. I'll let you know how all the funnel stuff goes, and of course as I learn it and integrate it and master it, of course I will teach more. I've noticed I've been feeling a little bit disheveled and unorganized, so I decided to I looked around my office and I was like, well, this is probably the reason, because my office is disheveled and unorganized. And I was on our weekly Get Shit Done Club call for all of my mastermind members yesterday, and we were all talking about if we're all feeling a little bit like headsy and overwhelmed, let's have a look at our desks and our work environments. And of course, those of us who were feeling disheveled and disorganized totally had messes. So we all like set up to do the challenge together to get organized and just streamline our working environment so that we feel clearer and more organized on the physical front, and that will help on the mental front. So I spent the last 2 days kind of going through that and just all those piles of things I'd get to, if you know what I mean. Now I'm just like, okay, I need to just get to these, clear them off my desk, and then feel lighter and brighter and more focused and aligned. And I think that's really kind of like the big things at the moment. Walking the fucking Camino. Like progressing with this whole global pandemic, funnels, anti-racist work, all of those things. Also, in terms, I've had this question a couple of times, like, oh, is like this anti-racist stuff just, and it wasn't like they didn't use these words, but kind of like a fad or the hot topic for this week. And I'm like, no, this is like creating like socially conscious businesses is actually like the way of the future. You can't get away with not being conscious. And it's not just about racial justice stuff. It's about being intersectional, and that means in terms of lesbian, gay, bisexual, like the whole LGBTQIA plus community, disability awareness, trans rights, and environmental consciousness as well. Like all of those things to build an even more aware and socially conscious and socially responsible business. So if you wanted to know more information about that, make sure you check out my last podcast about building a socially conscious business. It just gives a bit of a framework of things to consider. All right, guys, I love you bunches. This weekend is going to be spent with some heat packs and sending out some artwork and postcards to my Get Shit Doners, and probably reading a book. And that's about it. I might try Animal Crossing. I heard that's a fun thing to do. Why not? Live the dream. All right, guys, have a beautiful weekend. If you want to hear more kind of personal updates like this, let me know so I can book them in. And let's just go and continue to shine our light bright in the world.